Well, the thing is that there are several groups, rights groups, that have always been there for this kind of matters, and they've always been speaking, so their case cannot be said to be sudden. But then you're executive chairman of Muslim Public Affairs. For the avoidance of doubt, could you tell us, what is Islamic view on this matter?
Okay. I'm actually glad you asked the question. It is unequivocal. You know, Islam's position on it is quite clear. There's no way, you know, the Quran itself says, La ikraha fid din, there is no compulsion in religion. That is something that actually binds humanity to God. Talk less of love relationship. There's no way you can actually say that you are taking somebody as a wife or into a relationship against the will of that person, especially children. I mean, these guys, 13, 14, 15 years old, they don't even know what, I mean, really understand what love is, or what loving is, or what marriage is. They need to be protected, you know. So they should have been nurtured in an environment that actually makes them understand this. So that is what Islam actually says. You see, and there's actually protection for children against this type of situation, so that they don't run into it, so that they are given the proper guidance, either by the parent or by the community. So there's actually enough tradition within the Islamic faith that one shut the door against it, and if it happens, to deal with it adequately.
You know, the Islamic view is clear on this, as you've highlighted for us just now, but you know, there are many who are still surprised, saying, look, so what then was the police waiting for? What could they have been doing? How they didn't act? Because now we understand that the IGC has a look, we need to investigate what actually went on with the police's perspective on this matter.
Yeah, well, I think that is the question for all of us, because we are all Nigerians. I'm glad that the office of the His Royal Highness, you know, the Emir of Kano, actually released a public statement detailing exactly what steps, you know, the Emirate actually took when they got to know about this issue. One of the key points they actually mentioned in the statement is that they urge the AIG in charge of the zone to take immediate action and repatriate the girl back to her state. Why didn't that happen? I mean, the AIG should be held accountable for that.
But the AIG was quoted as saying that the Sharia Council was in custody of the child and they were not available for them to pick up the child. So, and you've already stated that Islam is quite straightforward about this matter. So how is it that the Sharia Council, getting a directive from the Emirate Council, would delay for several months in releasing the girl?
Well, I think...
Or is it possible that was the situation?
Well, I don't know, and I don't want to speculate about what happened. What I read in the media is that according to the AIG, he mentioned that the people from the Sharia Council actually brought the girl to the station, but it was too late. And they had to go back home, and then they did not return with the girl. For me, that is absurd. I mean, we have a state police, you know, like a federal police in this country. They have the power to take that girl into custody. They work 24/7. Even if the Sharia Council in the first place brought the girl, the police should have kept the girl in its custody for protection, you see, in the first instance, and ask the members of the Sharia Council to return the next day to continue this issue. In my view, that should have taken place. It didn't happen. The police, I believe, by the very power and authority it has, could have gone to the Sharia Council and take the girl the next day anyway, if they didn't bring her back. So I think we really need to understand, like I said at the start of the interview, we really need to have exactly what happened.
But what do you think we need to do as people and religious bodies as well to ensure we keep our consciousness awake and alive to this kind of matters?
Yeah, it's about education, you know. It's about making available to as many people as possible the rich resources in our different faiths, you know, that actually speak against this type of things. We have to make that available to as many people as possible. We also have to collaborate and partner, because it's not a faith-related problem. It is a societal problem, and that is the way. And that is that is what I've seen, the pattern of either reporting and the pattern of commenting on this issue. And I'm glad actually that the governor specifically said this is not a religious issue. So in solving this problem, we should see each other, different communities, different faith groups as partners, to come about intelligent solutions and work towards it.
Speaking about this kind of issue also brings to question, because yesterday we had a guest who also spoke about the fact that we need to domesticate the Child Rights Act in this country. And she said, look, states up north need to also come on board, that you have states down south that seem to be really paying attention to this. What do you need to do to ensure that governors up north also sign in this one?
Well, I think that would be the responsibility of different groups, the media, to put pressure on states that are actually reluctant or belligerent, to make them to come to the table to discuss their concerns. And then also we have the National Assembly, where the representatives of those states are, so they should discuss
those
this.
Ones can. Okay, the National Assembly can only lobby, they call it?
No,
the governors?
No, well, they have the power by virtue of their, position as representative from those states. They, after all, when there are other issues, that actually affect those states, come up onto the national table, they form alliances and lobbies as people from that area. So they can do this as well if we have meeting of minds, with their colleagues in the National Assembly, and put to bear on those specific states enough pressure to actually make them yield to public mentality on this.
Clearly before you leave, so that we don't get everything mixed up here, because there's some ambiguity, as it would seem, from your comment here quickly. For some, they want to know what your thinking is clearly on this matter. And how do you think it can be addressed if you think that there's a problem somewhere? Because they see it clearly that this is a case first of an abduction or forced marriage, and also forcefully asking someone to renounce his or her religion, and giving Ese a new religion against her free will. What's the point of view of your religion on what has happened to young Ese?
Okay, the way I'm actually seeing this whole issue play out is the way the media has actually constructed it, and I'm actually, sorry, I have to all the time go back to the media, because I've actually seen where all these sentiments and comments are coming from. We're all educated. And the last time I actually checked the dictionary, what has happened, even according to the details of in the media about exactly what happened, does not even meet the definition of abduction. Even however loose you try to define abduction, it doesn't meet it, because I'll take you quickly through some of the information that
because
actually
we're out of time. What do you think it is?
Yeah, it is for me, from the details that I've actually read about it, it is an issue of people, young people, naive people, vulnerable people actually fell in love with each other and ran away together. I do not see it as an issue of abduction, because if you remember, the mother of Ese actually said when she was found missing, she sent her brother to go and look for her at Yunusa's place, which means the only thing I can actually take from that is that they had a clue, or they had an idea of exactly what was going on between these two children, before
they were
the
informed by Yunusa's friends. You missed that part.
No. Well, that is what I've read. Okay. Again, I have to take it back to
how
what
old
I've read.
do you read Yunusa was?
Well, from what I've read, he is actually about 15 years old. That's what I read. And there are so many versions of the story out there, so it's difficult. 15 years old. That is what I gleaned from the different materials that I've actually read.
All right,
so it's got nothing to do with religion. There was no forced conversion. If there was, it is invalid in Islam.
Thank you very much indeed, Disu Kamo, Executive Chairman, Muslim Public Affairs, for giving your thoughts on the matter. Okay, there you go. That's where we also draw the curtains today on the program. We thank you all for watching. We'll see you next week. I'm Chamberlain Oso.
Now I'm Neil Taiwe. Thank you.
I just realized it's Friday. Thanks for watching. See you again next week. I'm Sulaiman.